Hi, my name is Miss Christy. I'm a teaching artist with the PACE program. We integrate art lessons with the classroom curriculum. We are coming to you today thanks to the Acadiana Center for the Arts, the nonprofit organization that manages the PACE program, and the Lafayette Parish school system in Lafayette, Louisiana. Today we will be learning about the American flag. We're going to talk a little bit about when it got started and what the first designs were, and we're going to make our own flag. Recently, we celebrated Memorial Day. It's a day when we honor our service members in the military. The materials that you'll need for this project are very simple. You'll need a white piece of paper, construction paper will do, or just regular copy paper. You'll need a pencil, a ruler, and a red and blue marker. If you don't have markers, you can use a red and blue crayon. Just make sure that it says red and blue. The first thing you'll need to do is you'll need to fold a piece of paper twice. I usually have my art students do this so that I can guide them through the whole project. So you're going to fold your paper in half. That's meeting up corner to corner and folding it down, and then folding it in half again. That's meeting corners to corners and folding it again. After you do that, you'll open it up and we'll get started. The first thing we're going to do is draw with our pencil, because when we're finished drawing with that pencil, we're actually going to be erasing some of those pencil marks for the white of the paper to show. I'm going to go ahead and show you how to draw a 5-pointed star, and it's fairly simple to draw, and I know I was really excited when I first learned how to draw a star. So now that you have your paper folded, I'm going to be working up on the wall, but you're going to keep your paper flat. When you're drawing with the ruler, you're going to make sure to hold that ruler down tight so that it doesn't move. And if you're having trouble holding the ruler, go ahead and ask for help. Someone can help you hold the ruler while you draw the straight line. If there's ever a point where you need to press pause to catch up to where I am, please do so. I'm going to keep moving along, but there might be a time whenever you want to finish coloring some of the blue or part of the red stripes that you need to press pause. And please feel like you can do that anytime that you need to, and then press play and keep going. All right, let's get started. The first thing I'm going to show you is the 5-pointed star. This is the paper I'm going to use to make my whole flag. First, I'm going to put a piece of scratch paper up here just to show on as big as I can how to make a star. It's fairly simple in that you start by making what starts out as a triangle. I'm going to show this to you, and you can use a scratch piece of paper to practice if you want to, before we actually make the stars on our flag. So watch me first and then you try. I'm going to start here at the bottom, and I'm going to draw like I'm drawing a letter uppercase A, or a triangle or a tent. And I'm going to stop right here on the right hand side at the bottom. And now I'm going to draw a diagonal line going up. So watch me first and then you try. And I'm going to stop right here. So keep your pencil there and watch me first and then you do this. I'm going to go across and stop. You can see that the same distance here to here is from here to here, and stop right here. Now I'm going to draw a diagonal line going down to that last point on the left. It doesn't have to be a perfect star because we're going to be coloring around our stars, with the blue marker. After we do that, we're going to end up erasing all of these lines in the middle. So make sure your pencil has an eraser. Let's get started with our flag. So this section right here is where the blue is going to be in our flag and the stars inside. The different colors of the flag mean different things. The blue represents justice, perseverance, and vigilance. Our country is a strong country, and that's what that means. The stars represent purity and innocence, in that they're white. They also represent each one of the states in our country. When our country first began, you can see that there were this many different versions of the flag. The one from the time when there were colonists, that was the first people from Europe that came over to America, they had this flag that represented the 13 colonies, and those stars were arranged in a circle. But we are going to arrange our stars for the first letter of our name. What is the first letter of your name? The first letter of my name is a C. So I'm going to draw a big C. You can see in my daughter's, she drew a big E for the first letter of her name. And in my son's flag, he drew a W for the first letter of his name. And you can see that they both made their letters as big as I made this C. We're going to end up coloring over this, so it doesn't matter if you messed up and you had to redraw it or rewrite it, because all of that's going to get colored over. The next thing we're going to do is outline this whole section. This is where we're going to color in the blue. So I just want you to see that this whole area will end up being blue in the end. Now we're going to follow the letter of our name and draw in stars. Are you ready? Each star that you do, you're going to try to make it big enough so that you're only using between 6 and 10 stars. It'll be very difficult for you to color around a lot of tiny stars. So try to make your stars as big as you can without being too big. So about this size. Remember, you're going to go up and down like you're making a letter A or a triangle. You're going to go across diagonal, across to the side, straight across, and then down diagonal to the left side of the bottom of the star. And you're just going to keep doing that around your letter. Remember, pause if you need to, and if you need to erase, it's okay. We're going to be coloring over this. So again, it's up and then down like a triangle, but then instead of going across to the bottom, you go diagonal up, straight across to the other side, and then down diagonal to this side of the star. Up, down, diagonal, up, across, diagonal, down. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 stars so far. How many do you have so far? Remember, if you need to pause, go ahead. Up, down, like a triangle, but then across, diagonal, up, straight across, and then diagonal down to the bottom. Up and down like a triangle, across, up, diagonal, straight across at the top, and then diagonal down. So I'm going to do one more star right on the end of my C. Up, down, across, up, straight across, and then diagonal down. So there's my stars. Next, I want you to become familiar with the outside of the shape. That's called the contour of your star. Can you say that word? Contour. That just means the outside line of your star. So now I want you to use your pencil and trace each star. Now you'll see why it was important to not do too many that are too small. If you think maybe you did too many, erase every other one. When my daughter did hers, she did lots of tiny stars in between her ends. So she ended up erasing a few that were in between. It made it much easier for her to outline each one. So outline each one with your pencil. Don't worry about the lines that are in the middle. If you need to make one of the arms or legs of the star bigger, this is when you would do that. So for example, this one I'm going to make just a little bigger at the top. And then I'm going to follow it like I made it here. And this one I could make a little longer. And this one I could make a little wider. And I'm just going to keep tracing the outside. Part of this is to give yourself practice on how to draw a star. That's 5 points. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And this one needs a top part that's a little bigger. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There. Now I'm going to use my blue marker and I'm going to trace each one. You can also trace the whole section where this blue is going to be filled in. Remember, you don't want to color blue on the inside of your star. You want to keep it the white of the paper. Our American flag is red, white, and blue. So do you think we're going to color in the white? No, we're going to leave the white of the paper to be the white of our flag. Can you see how I'm outlining each star with blue? It doesn't have to be perfect, because we're going to be coloring over, around these lines. And you can count each angle. That's what this is here. 1 angle, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I've outlined each of my stars. You can see it already looks like the letter C made of stars. The next part, it's really important that you don't color in the same place over and over. And the reason for that is this ink is wet and it will tear a hole in your paper. And you'll also dry out your marker that way. So when you're coloring, try to color as much as you can, not in the same spot. You can see here that when I color with the tip, it makes a tiny little line. But if I were to turn my marker to where I'm coloring with the side of it, it makes a nice big wide line and it covers a lot more. So go ahead and do that, and you can color in any direction that you want to. There are two artists we're going to talk about today, and both of these artists used paint to create these paintings of flags. The first artist's name is Jasper Johns, and he did a lot of paintings of flags with a special kind of paint that was mixed with wax, and that technique or that kind of painting is called encaustic. That's a big word, encaustic. And it's not something that's safe for everyone to use, but what it did was create this very rough texture on the canvas. It made a very unique kind of surface. You can see that there's thick areas in the paint. And you can also see that in this painting, there are 3 individual flags, one on top of the other. And it makes it look like it's like stairs. He also did this painting of an American flag with orange and green. And if you were to stand in front of this painting and look at it, there's also a gray painting underneath it of an American flag. And what he did was he actually tricks your eye into seeing red and blue, so that if you're standing close to the painting and looking at the orange painting, you can see in the gray painting the red and blue. How did he do that? Well, he understood that our eyes are easy to trick, and that the complement or the opposite color can actually be used to trick our eye. So you can see here I'm still filling in my blue. Just take your time. Try to get in between all those stars. You can color any which way. I usually tell my students don't chicken scratch, but in this case, it almost makes it look like you're using paint and using it in a rough way and being a little bit messy with it. Just remember, don't color in the same spot over and over again. Keep going and moving around and underneath and all around those stars. The other artist that I have here to show you is Frederic Hossam, and he painted these paintings in a style called Impressionism. And you can see that this is a parade in the streets on 4th of July, and it was raining, or maybe it was after the rain. And so it almost looks like all the colors are blended together, but you can clearly see all those flags hanging in New York City. This one is called the 4th of July in 1916. So that was over 100 years ago that he made this painting. As it turns out, flags only recently became as popular as they are now. And we all see them as a symbol for the country that we live in. And we all know that the flag stands for the things that we believe in as a country. So I finished my blue. If you need to press pause and finish your blue, go ahead. Next thing we're going to do is we're going to erase those pencil marks inside of the blue, inside of the stars. And once you do that, you'll realize that you made some very, very nice stars. And they don't have to be perfect. The different points of the star don't have to be the same. There just has to be 5 of them. There. Now we're going to do the stripes. And the stripes will give you a chance to learn about how to draw straight lines with a ruler. And the red and white of the stripes mean something else. The red symbolizes hardiness, and the white represents purity and innocence. And the 13 represent the first people that established the United States back when George Washington was the president. So you're going to use your ruler to create these straight lines for the stripes. And if you'll notice in the flag that we have today, the red is at the top and the bottom of the flag. So we're going to start by coloring those in once we draw in all our lines. The first thing you're going to do is you're going to put your ruler up against the top of your paper. You can see that there's just a little bit of the white peeking out. I want you to move the ruler down to where either your thumb or your finger fits and covers up just that white space. So probably your thumb is the right size. So put your thumb right there, and that's going to be where the first stripe is. It's kind of difficult to hold the ruler straight, so if you need help, ask someone to help you hold it down while you draw the straight line with your pencil. Try not to put your fingers in the way, because then it'll make bumps and your fingers will get in the way. So go ahead and draw that straight line across. Can you see that? The next thing you're going to do is you're going to keep your ruler right there, and you're going to draw the underneath of the ruler. So that space is the same space as the ruler. You're going to move your ruler down, and you're going to put the top right there. Can you see my line that I have there? And you're going to hold it down tight, and you're going to draw another line across. You're going to move your ruler down again, and you should be right about here where the blue stops. When we folded our paper in half, we were actually folding it just the right size to do this. If it doesn't meet up, that's okay. Just keep going. And remember, hold your ruler down tight, because you don't want to end up with it slanted or at an angle. So there, those are the top part. That's the top part of our stripes. Now we're going to do the same thing, but we're going to bring the ruler all the way over here under the left side of the blue. And we're going to be drawing this line all the way across. But see how my ruler wants to move? I'm going to have to hold it on both sides. So you might want to draw just a little bit here, move your hand, and draw the rest. You're going to move your ruler down and do exactly the same thing. Ooh, it wanted to move. Be careful. Draw half of it, move your hand, and draw the other half. Now I have just one more. Put the line up against the ruler, hold it down, draw, oops, see it moves, be careful. Draw that line halfway, move your hand over, and draw the rest of the way. There. Now we can use our red marker. Watch me first and then you do this. I'm going to color my top and my bottom red stripe. So I'm just going to color this top section. And I'm going to skip all the ones in the middle and I'm going to draw and color in the bottom one. The middle is a little bit different. So watch me first and then you try. The middle is a little bit different. We're going to color above these 3 lines. So you're going to put your marker, if you want to, on its side, and you're going to color above the line. About the same amount as this top one, you're going to color that here. And if you color it with the tip, it's just going to take you a little bit longer. You're going to do the same thing here. You can trace underneath it and then make that line and color the inside. But it's going to be above the pencil line. Same thing here. Here's the pencil line. You're going to color above the pencil line. Now, with these two, we're going to color on the line. So first I traced it, and then I'm going to color over it. And remember, we're trying to make it look like we painted, so it can be a little bit messy. And then the same thing with this one. You're going to trace the line, and then just color it a little bit thicker. There. There's Miss Christie's American flag. I wish I could see your American flags. If you want to post your artwork and share it with us, you can post it to our Facebook page for Acadiana Center for the Arts, or you can email someone at our website. That's acadianacenterforthearts.org. If you want to sponsor programs like this, you can contact us through that website. We will be posting a new lesson every day at 10 a.m. Our lessons are geared towards kindergarten, 1st and 2nd grade, but anyone is welcome to join us. We provide visual arts lessons and creative movement. These lessons will be aired on the Acadiana Open channel, that's Cox channel 16 and LUS channel 4, kindergarten at 8 a.m. and 1st and 2nd grade at 9 a.m. Please join us. If you want private lessons with me, you can contact me by emailing me through my website. That's lushceramics.com. lushceramics.com. Thank you so much for being with me today, and I hope you try to make artwork every day.